Hey guys, how the hell are you? Welcome back once again to Arnold Drinks. My name is Arnold, and tonight I drink. So once again, we are checking out a Martin House brew on this channel. For those that may be unaware, Martin House at this particular moment, granted my opinion changes all the time, but at this particular moment might be my favorite Texas-based brewery just because of how crazy and weird some of their stuff gets. It's interesting. So every time you pick up a new limited release from them, it's like, wow, what is in store for me at this point? Because I've had some monumentally good brews from Martin House, and hopefully this is no exception. This is the Last Girl Scout, a whiskey barrel-aged thin mint stout is what they call it. It's part of their barrel-aged series, 11.6 alcohol by volume, has an IBU of just 8. Let's see here. This Imperial Stout is brewed with peppermint, chocolate, vanilla, brown sugar, and lactose. Yep, definitely sounds like a thin mint cookie, all right. Aged 6 months in whiskey barrels with cocoa nibs. Wow, okay, so this promises to be a very, very desserty beverage. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. Let's give this a little sniff. Oh, wow. Whew. From the moment that you hold it up to your nose, like huge, intense mint notes. I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't surprised by that so much because the moment that I poured this, it kind of filled the room with a huge, powerful mint note. Definitely some chocolate in there too. That is really interesting. Maybe a little bit of maple syrup in that aroma as well. Oh, that smells really good. Oh, I should also mention too, when I initially poured this sucker, it had a very kind of tannish brown head, almost bronze head that it was there and then it just went away immediately. So take that for what it's worth. I can't really tell you if it was very uniform, very rocky. It was just kind of there and gone. But anyways, let's give this a shot. Okay, so the mint note is interesting. Let me actually come back to that in a minute because that mint note is very, very powerful. It's different. It's very, very different. By the way, stunning visuals on that can. That's one thing I love about all these cool Martin House releases. They always have a really awesome visual aesthetic to them. Like, I definitely see why you would call this a thin mint stout because instantly it brings to mind thin mint Girl Scout cookies. It just has all of that flavor there. Any little note that you can pick out from just having a thin mint cookie, it's there. There's definitely a little bit of a sort of rye barrel aged note to it too. You know, just a hint of like a spicy, oaky character that's coming through, a little bit boozy, but not overpoweringly so. Definitely has that sort of milk stout smoothness. Let's go in again. Has a finish that lingers a little bit and then immediately just drops. So, if anything, the most lingering thing, though, is that mint that's sitting right firmly on top of your tongue. And now let's talk about that mint note, because I honestly feel like if anything could be said to be detrimental to this beer, it's that overpoweringly mint note. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it has a sort of weird, artificial, kind of medicinal thing to it. Like, have you ever had like a bit of medicine or something and it's got like sort of a minty note to it, almost like they're trying to make it more easy going down? That's kind of what I'm getting out of that. You know what's really interesting? I had a little bit of a burnt ends kind of thing on that sip. So as desserty as this is, makes me wonder how it would pair with a nice piece of steak. But something's just off about that mint note. It tastes like a sort of artificial minty concentrate kind of thing. Like a little bit less of like spearmint and a little bit more of like Banaka. That's the note I'm thinking of. Banaka, that spray. That's kind of what I'm getting out of that. It's a bit overpowering. Thankfully, it's not as crazy on the palate as it is on the aroma, but I can't help but think that, man, like that should just be toned down a little bit. Let the cocoa, let the brown sugar, let that sort of syrupy molasses note that's in there, even that oakiness and the booziness, let that have a little bit more of a place to shine. Or like, let's figure out some way to make that not taste so overpoweringly artificial. Like, it's good, don't get me wrong, but I think if there's anything that's holding it back, it would be that. So thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel. There's tons more of this content to come, I promise. And as always, take what you do seriously. Do not take yourselves too seriously.